Good evening, dear students. Welcome to this platform, Banking Academy. You are all welcome. Today we are going to have English to English conversation. It's not even conversation, it's one-way delivery. You just have to observe. All the things that we have learned so far since our childhood are all those things which are learned through observation only. So today once again it is time for you to observe whatever I discuss, and just through your observation you will start learning many new things, sentence formations and many more things. So if you are all ready, write in the comments ready so that I can continue the session. Not taking sides means not taking favor of Russia, not going against Russia. On Iran and Ukrainian conflict or Ukraine conflict. Conflict means a kind of tussle between two nations, two persons, two groups, two countries. So today there is no need of any mind map. Today we will directly discuss the editorial, English to English, and also the vocabs will be discussed in English. So the quote of the day is, you are braver than you believe. You are stronger than you seem, and you are smarter than you think. It feels good to read this. So start feeling this and you will have confidence upon yourself or in your abilities. So there are some pictures right from that situation coming up. How the damage is taking place, how people are being killed, and how people are being also used as a shield against the enemy's attack. So let us go ahead with the journey. Yes, Savi, Pooja, Mitesh, Kajal, Darshana, Mansi, Akshay, Shivam, Payal, Lucky Gamer, okay, Akshay, all are ready. So, not taking sides, not favoring someone or not going against someone. On India and the Ukraine conflict means a kind of tussle between two nations. India might have to engage, get involved more deeply with the Ukrainian war as the conflict deepens. See, the severity of this conflict, the more it becomes severe, the more the engagement from India's standpoint will be required. That is what is the punchline of this editorial. Based on that, we can also decide the tone of the passage. Let us go further. With a convincing majority of 141 of 193 countries. See, there is majority. So whatever decision has been given acceptance to will be the final decision as far as the UN General Assembly is concerned. So UN General Assembly, that is United Nations General Assembly, voted on Wednesday for a resolution that deplored means somewhere to criticize, to condemn in the strongest term Russia's attack on Ukraine and demanded an immediate withdrawal of Russian troops. So out of 193 member countries, 144 has voted in favor of this resolution in which you or they will ask Russia's withdrawal from this war situation in Ukraine. So on Wednesday, that is the day before yesterday, there was a meeting in which majority of the nations at United Nations General Assembly voted in the favor of the resolution which would criticize in the strongest terms. All the harsh words will be used to criticize Russia for its actions. Yes, Ram Ram Khamma Gani. The resolution, which was discussed in a rare special emergency session, and under the rubric means set of rules. All the frame of rules, that is called rubric. So, the resolution, which was discussed in a rare special emergency session, it was an emergency meeting which was carried out there or conducted there, and under the rubric set of rules of the Uniting for Peace. So what was the tagline? Uniting for Peace resolution invoked. Invoked means take reference. or adduce, use something as a reference after the decades came as a result of an aborted means something which was flopped resolution at the United Nations Security Council. See, dear students, in the previous editorials we had seen that at UNSC there was a meeting held in which no resolution could be held the way it was supposed to be held because of the veto power exercised by Russia. But now at United Nations General Assembly, out of 193 members, 141 have voted in favor of the decision to ask Russia to withdraw its troops from Ukraine. So that kind of resolution in which you say uniting for peace, so that is what we are invoking. We are taking reference of this tagline that we have to unite for peace. It's just like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam for India. That is what is the kind of tagline that we generally invoke. Which Russia, as I said, United Nations Security Council, where veto power was exercised. When you say veto, veto means power to say no or power to reject something. So as a permanent member, Russia had vetoed. So that resolution finally got approval from 141 members at the United Nations General Assembly. Let us go ahead, dear students. If you could understand this first paragraph, write in the comments next. And all the 50 students who are watching, who are live, like the video. You are not liking it today. What happened? Today it is English to English session and discussion. You must like the video and share the video. Let us go ahead. While the United Nations General Assembly resolution carries little teeth, means carry no power or strength. So while the UNGA resolution carries little teeth, means has no specific strength or power, it does represent a common stand, means opinion, which is taken by the international public commons. Means it is agreed that the resolution, which was given a vote of majority by 141 members, so far does not have much of the strength, but for the sake of satisfaction it can be said that it represents the common opinion of the majority of the nations, with 96 countries signing up as co-sponsors of the resolution. They have also signed up themselves to the resolution in which they will be the co-sponsors. So somewhere there will be funding coming from those nations to make the resolution, the majority's decision, successful. So Russia rejected the outcome. Outcome means the result, the final outcome, that is the final result, as a political vote that came of severe pressure from the US. Russia rejected the outcome as a political vote. Russia said it's a political voting being done by you, because whatever you are doing, whatever all the 141 or 140 nations are doing is because of the pressure exerted on them or upon them by US. So on that note, Russia rejected this resolution or outcome of the resolution, and European countries that were the drivers, the motivating factors, I can say motivators of the resolution. But it seemed, it appeared, it felt, it looked clear that it was isolated on the global stage. When you consider the same situation on a global stage, it was considered an isolated situation which has nothing to do, or which had nothing to do with others' opinions. And that is how Hindu Editorial is giving justification for the majority votes and giving indirect disapproval for what Russia thinks that it is to be rejected based on a political vote pretext. So this is how Editorial is also trying to give an impression that somewhere Russia is not going in the right direction. So as other 141 members of this United Nations General Assembly are also of the same opinion. Dear students, let us continue. Belarus, Eritrea, North Korea and Syria voted against the motion. Motion means this resolution, and they voted against the motion. North Korea and Eritrea and Belarus and also Syria. And 35, including India, abstained. Abstain means to not vote at all. At all. So to decline to vote. Decline to vote. When you do not vote in favor of or against some resolution, it can be said that you exercised your abstinence. That is abstention or abstain from something. When you say isolated, means to separate from other cases. So on a global stage, this is a situation which cannot be judged through the common parameter which is done in all other cases. That is what it means to say when you say isolate. Aditya. Okay, so 4 nations have voted against the motion and 35 have not at all exercised their voting right. So they are still not clear whether to take stand or not. While the resolution also decried means again criticize, to condemn, to criticize the Russian decision to recognize Donetsk and Luhansk as independent states. Yeah, Russia's decision to declare these 2 places as independent states was anyway decried by the resolution or in the resolution itself. And the representatives of member states made it clear that means all the 141 members or some of them or majority of them, representatives of the member states made it clear that it was the relentless means constant, continuous bombing of Ukrainian cities that they could not turn a blind eye to. They said that we cannot ignore. When you say turn a blind eye to, means to ignore the fact that Ukrainian cities are being bombed. So that is constant bombing, which they do not like at all. So they are opposing the same. So they made it clear that relentless bombing is something which we cannot ignore. We cannot turn a blind eye to. Let's go further. So today students are joining in slowly and gradually. I think English to English is something, if I continue the session in the tag of or under the title of English Saptah or English to English Saptah, I doubt whether all the students are going to take active participation or not. No doubt 2 days ago or recently you all had voted with 90% majority in favor of English Saptah. But looking at the numbers today, I don't know why there is a reduction in the number compared to yesterday and the day before yesterday. So it's okay. Let's continue the journey. India's abstention means decline to vote. Not a surprise, of course it is not a surprise, but disappointed many Western countries that have been lobbying, means marketing or supporting, to support. See, many Western countries are there who support the resolution, and when they see India not giving vote in favor of the resolution, they are disappointed with this fact. For a shift in the Indian position. Shift in the Indian position means what India used to think a decade ago or maybe 20 years or 15 years ago is not the same position as India holds today, and that is why they are disappointed with this specific situation, in this situation with India. So in the past week, India has abstained from 3 votes. See, in just 7 days, in last 7 days, there were 3 resolutions which were to be voted to, and in which India abstained from voting for all 3, including 2 procedural ones. Even at that point of specific event, India did not vote at all. At the UNSC, where it is an elected member, because when you are disappointed, it is because you are an elected member. One at the United Nations Human Rights Council. See, there is one council, United Nations Human Rights Councils. According to that also, and that is also something India holds the membership of. So even considering that, and one more membership at IAEA on resolutions critical of Russia. So IAEA will be given detailed information about in the coming slides. So I'm not going into the full form of the same right now. So these are certain organizations. Say for the sake of your information, it's a commission or kind of organization which works to promote minimum use of nuclear weapons. So it is regarding that. Okay, so sir, we are all ready for English to English session, Nehanshi says. So in an explanation of vote, that is, if you vote in someone's favor, then after the voting is done, you also have to explain the reasons for voting in favor or against something or someone or some country. So that is called EOV. And India's United Nations representative said, at UN from India said that India is calling for means demanding. To demand dialogue means a conversation between those two nations at dispute or any other parties at dispute. While officials say, at the same time officials also say that India's abstention means declination to vote has given it room, means given it space, given it chance to play a role in diplomacy with Russia and Ukraine. So right now the editorial says that India's UN representatives, according to him or her, India is asking for a dialogue, while officials say that India's abstention has given it room to play a role in diplomacy with Russia and Ukraine. At one point of time you say you are asking for the dialogue between two nations or three nations, and at the same time you are not voting at all. So that is giving a space to the fact that you are being very diplomatic with Russia and Ukraine. So you are not willing to lose any type of relation with any nation, and that is why you are not favoring Russia or Ukraine. So indirectly or directly you are trying to maintain cordial relationships with both the nations. So let's see what's there in store for us. In a sign of some discomfort with Russian actions, EOV, that is explanation of vote, also dropped the earlier references to the legitimate, that is very valid, that is very legal security interests. See, explanation of vote is something in which you explain the reasons why you are voting in favor or against some resolution, and which references were taken to the legitimate security interest, means very valid, very legal security interest should be there. But because of the actions taken by Russia, this phrase or this specific title of very legitimate security interest, it was dropped from explanation of vote. So when you give explanation for the voting, you cannot say it is for the legitimate security interest. That cannot be an acceptable answer. Match is ongoing, so most of students are not here. Yeah, definitely that is also possible. Yes. And included language on respecting the territorial, that is relating to any region, area or territory, sovereignty means independence or autonomy of members, and included language on respecting the territorial sovereignty of members. So when you give an explanation of vote, you should never ever use this phrase legitimate security interest. That will not be considered valid. And at the same time, references were also taken to respecting those with members who are having their territorial sovereignty. So you have to respect their own autonomy. So indirectly it is being said that Ukraine has its own sovereignty which you cannot encroach upon. That is what is being said. India has also sent humanitarian, means humanity related aid or help to Ukraine, although its vote of abstention indicates the Modi government still has many reasons not to vote against Russia. See, at the same time, when India has also sent some kind of support to Ukraine, India is also not voting against Russia. It shows somewhere that a strategic and defense partner that has stood by means be loyal, be supportive, that is Russia to India. So many a time in terms of strategic partnership or strategic deal or partnership, whether it is involving Kashmir or other parts of India which are being encroached upon by other nations including China and Pakistan, Russia has been a strong supporter of India. and defense partner as well. As you can see, recently India had signed as 400 missile deal with Russia. That is under process, that is underway. So considering all these factors, Hindu is trying to explain reasons why India is not voting in favor or against the resolution. Sir, yeah, definitely Pooja, I can definitely help you. You can meet me personally tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, and whenever you come, there are many students with whom I work on this schedule matter. So definitely we can prepare a schedule for you too. So you can meet me or a faculty of maths or reasoning or current affairs, any of them, even me, all of us will help you definitely. So you can come definitely. As the conflict continues, as the war situation continues between Russia and Ukraine, and the global community expresses its disapproval, and also disapproval signs are also being raised from all the member countries or majority of the member countries. However, India's desire to remain an abstentionist, means the one who exercises abstention power, is being called into question, so it is being doubted. So to doubt. So at the same time, when many nations are in favor of the resolution to ask Russia to withdraw its troops from Ukrainian region, at the same time India's decision or desire to remain abstentionist is being doubted, is being called into question, means is being distrusted or lack of trust or lack of confidence. Let us go ahead. Write in the comments, dear students, if you are able to understand anything and everything that I am explaining. I am also using the phrase or I also using the word anything, not just everything. Anything that you are not able to understand, then you can ask. If you are able to understand everything, then write in the comments, go ahead. See, if you are not a student of academy, then try to call on academy's number first, that is Surat HO if you are nearby Surat, and you can also just take appointment from them to visit academy. There we will meet and make a schedule for you, definitely. See, last paragraph says that government has also said that it needs to remain on good terms with both sides, as its primary focus remains the safe exit of Indians from the conflict zone. See, all the government of India has made it clear that it has to remain on good terms with both the nations, that is Russia and Ukraine, considering the interest of those who are stuck there, especially students. So once they are evacuated, maybe India would take some stand. While evacuating means vacating, to empty the place. So evacuating Indians is an important priority, of course, to evacuate all our Indian brothers and sisters. Of course, that is the first priority. It cannot be India's only focus in this crisis. At the same time, when it should be your priority, editorial is also saying that it should not be the only priority. You should also give priority to the human crisis that is being faced by the humanity, by the citizens of Russia or Ukraine, or especially Ukraine, not just Russia, specifically Ukraine. When I am saying Russia, because war is something which claims lives of both the nations, whether one is actively doing or one is being involved into it passively, it doesn't matter. So it cannot be India's only focus in this crisis, given means considering its aspirations for a global leadership. When India is aiming for the global leadership, it has to keep in mind the interest of all the nations, not just one specific country or its own citizens. No, that cannot be the only priority. When you are working in the global interest, you have to take decisions based on the global perspective. That is how it is going to be in your favor when you are specifically aiming for the global partnership. And the oft means often quoted motto, goal statement of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That is what it means when you say you want to become a global superpower or global leader. So you have to take decisions based on the interest of all the nations, not just one specific nation or the citizens of that nation. It may become necessary for India, now it may become necessary for India to get involved more deeply with the conflict in Europe, which is now a global concern. See, there is a conflict in the Europe going on regarding this Russia and Ukraine situation, but now it has taken a global color. So on a global level, you have to address the issue. Then only the solution will come up, sooner or later, but it has to be quickened so as to make it as soon as possible. Dear students, if you are able to understand everything, then write in the comments RFV, that is ready for vocabs. And tomorrow there is a session of closed test in which I will discuss certain selected questions from closed test portion of the level 2 book, the previous level 2 book. There are certain students or some students who have received the latest version of level 2 book, I don't know, but the previous version of the level 2 book is something from which is a book from which I will discuss 2 or 3 closed tests tomorrow, which will help you clarify your concepts very easily and smoothly. So dear students, write in the comments RFV, that is ready for vocabs, and let's continue the session. Deplore means to complain about somewhere, you are criticizing, lament, go be against, your regret or express regret about. Abhor. Rubric, a set of rules or frame of guidelines or set of instructions. Invoke means take reference, that is refer to or cite, mention, adduce, resort to, turn to or call into use. Means to make an effective use of some provision that is there written in your history books or some law books. Aborted means flopped, failed or terminated. Veto means reject a decision, power to say no or declining power. Not declining means reducing. When you have the power to decline or say no to the specific or any general resolution, it is called veto power. Carry little teeth means to have little power or strength, or to have no power at all. Stand means your stance, your opinion, point of view, viewpoint, opinion, standpoint, position. There is one more technical word, that is outlook and slant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vocabs. Driver means the motivating factor or reason for you or you're doing something. So that is the driver. See, right now getting secured job is the driver or driving force for all of you to appear for the bank jobs. So that is the meaning of driver. Abstain means to not vote or decline to vote or refuse to vote. Not in favor, not against. So that is sitting on the fence, means not going on the right side, not going on the left side, being in the center, that is the fence. Decry, when you decry, you criticize, you denounce, you condemn. I think 3 words are enough for us, and vilify is also a very good word. Relentless means constant, continuous, non-stop. Unceasing is a very good word. Long lasting, that is perpetual. Assiduous, continuing for longer time. And sedulous or importunate. Okay, so you can consider only 2-3 vocabs, not going into much of the vocabs or many vocabs. Turn a blind eye to means overlook or disregard or neglect, ignore, pay no attention, omit. See, if you have to write 1, 2 and 3, if you do not write 2, then 2 is omitted or gloss over. Means to make a shine in such a way that it does not become visible except its shine, hiding what is there in that object or place. So that is turn a blind eye to. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Lobby means to support, means to advocate, to influence, or to create actions, policies or decisions to help a particular organization you are trying to support. International Atomic Energy Agency, as I mentioned, it's about promoting the safe use or minimum use of nuclear weapons. So that is for you to see in PDF or read in PDF. Explanation of vote is also something which I have explained briefly, but you have to go through the same in detail. So 12, 13. So I am not considering these in vocabs. So 13, Legitimate means very legal or very valid, permissible, allowable, admissible or statutory. Territorial means land related, or territory means area or region related. Sovereignty, there is autonomy, independence, your own decision power, that is a kind of discretion, or I can say self-government or self-rule or non-alignment. There is no balance with the other person. You are taking decisions based on your own choices and preferences. Aid means help, support or assistance or encouragement or helping hand or succor. Standby means support or be loyal to, stand up for, support, give one support to, supportive of or back or come to the defense or take the side of. So you to support. So there are 12 or 13 vocabs, 14, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Abstentionist means relating to a person who practices or supports. Abstention means non-voting. That is also the vocab, that is 19. Call something into question means to ask doubts about, be suspicious of, feel uneasy, distrust, mistrust or suspect, or lack of confidence or doubt. Evacuate means to empty the place, to vacate the place, that is ask people to leave, empty, move out, get out of, exit from. Evict is a very good word. Depopulate and expel. See, expel is something which is used in a different sense. If there is some person working in the office, and because of some malfunction or whatever reasons, if that person is removed from that office, then he has been expelled. That is what we can say. So when you say expel, means to remove someone from his or her official post. Aspiration means goal, ambition, hope, desire, urge, yearning or hankering. These are certain words which are new to you, definitely. Oft, see, it's an old form of often. So initially often used to be a popular word. Over a period of time, oft took its place, but definitely often is still in use. So frequently, many times. So there is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 vocabs have so far been discussed. Into 3 if you do, then it's about 69 vocabs. Get ready for the Sunday test, that is the day after tomorrow. On Sunday you will be given a test based on vocabs mentioned in this editorial in the specific articles relating to Russia and Ukraine. So dear students, level 2 book, the most important from level 2 book, that is solution of selected closed tests, will be taken care of tomorrow live at 7:30 p.m. See dear students, sometimes we do not go live, sometimes we go for the premiere. It doesn't matter because shooting time is same. Sometimes considering the schedule, it may not be possible for us to go live. Then only we go for the streaming thing, that is the premiere thing. But it should not make a single % difference to you, because in both ways anyway you are seeing it virtually. So you are not live at all. Even if I am live, it's at your place, it's at my place, right? And that is why, or our place, and that is why I request you all, do not ever decide to watch the video based on whether the faculty has shot the video in advance or it's live. It doesn't make any difference to those who have come here to become much more knowledgeable, powerful, and that is how my message would be. So let us go for the tone of the passage. And definitely the tone of the passage is something which is regarding very caution. So I can say cautionary. So that is a kind of adducing to something, giving a hint of something that you do this, otherwise you will face the consequences. So that's it for the day, dear students. Definitely do subscribe to the channel to receive regular notifications. In case you are not receiving, check your bell icon if it is tuned into all the notifications or personal or whatever, none. So that's it, dear students. I hope you enjoyed the session. And tomorrow we are meeting again when we will discuss certain closed tests. This time I am not taking you to the journey of which closed test we will be discussing. Tomorrow direct closed test will be taken. Otherwise it's possible that from level 2 book you would solve the same in advance and then come live. That is not the right approach. So dear students, once again thank you so much for the wonderful participation from all of you. In case you have not liked the video, still there are 5 likes missing in making it a 50 mark. So if you can, definitely do like the video and share the video. And this is Abhay Shah once again signing off. Thank you, bye bye and good night.